We're going to get this rolling. This is our first sales meeting after 9/11, so we're going to play a little 9/11 tribute. That's the problem with real estate agents, right? There'll probably be another 50 agents in here in 10 minutes, 10 after the hour. What time is it? 9:01. I said we're rolling. All right, lights, camera, and action. Do it. Ryan, will you hit that for me? Thank you. Ryan, can I get that back on? So I just think it's a cool video. It always touches me every time I see it. We were in, and we're going to have, after we have a couple quick people up here, we were in San Diego for Summit last week, and we were on the island of, is it Coronado? Which is the home of the Navy SEALs. And you're going to hear some stories, but the Navy SEALs jumped out of a plane for our kickoff, for our last dinner, and they were there. So it was just kind of cool, and you just saw the helicopters and planes flying by the whole time. So it was a cool time to be there, and we flew out. A lot of us flew out on 9/11, which freaked Shannon out. We flew a number of years on 9/11 to New York City. She's like, why are we doing this? But I'm like, it's cool. 9/11 is probably the day you're not going to get attacked. So guys, we're going to, first of all, we've got breakfast out there. Home Standards is out there for breakfast. So grab a breakfast during or after this if you like. And let's start. Jay Brown and Shelly, you guys want to get up here? I want to talk about QR codes. We've talked a lot about that in our mastermind groups. We know that when we had the takeaway from Explosion, we had more people talking about QR codes than ever before. So I'm going to let these two take it away and give us a quick debriefing of how do we get QR codes, and then more importantly, what some of the functions of them, what's the uses and how can you use them?
All right, QR codes. QR stands for quick response. Really what you're doing is you're just creating a way, instead of like having a link or something, they could just scan it with their phone and it can take them to wherever you want it to go to. And so it's actually easier than you think. Trina came down to my office on Friday to spend, a half an hour to learn QR codes. It took about 2 minutes. So it's not very hard.
If Trina can do it in 2 minutes, anybody can do it. So, I even think my dad can do it if Trina can do it, guys.
Yep. So it's easy to do. There's lots of different resources out there. Most of them have free, and then you can pay for it. So the big difference between those that are free and then what you pay for is you can allow, like when you start creating QR codes, and you can save them in folders, and then you can start tracking to see how many people look at them. So I think Vince has been bringing up in meetings and stuff like that too, about that when they scan that you'll be able to collect their contact information. That's not correct.
It's not correct. I'm wrong.
He's right. So
write this down, Heather.
But it depends on where you go. So if you take them to what's like a landing page where you can try to convert them into a lead. So a good example would be HomeBot. So HomeBot, and I have all this on that ambagentTools.com. So you guys don't have to write anything down. It's all there, but they recommend a company called QRcode-monkey.com. And when you go there, you can then take the landing page for HomeBot and put that, and you can then go ahead and design, how you want the QR code to look, everything like that. And then you just download it, and then you can put it on flyers when you send it out to maybe a mailing for your listings, things like that. So it literally takes less than a couple minutes to design a QR code. And then you can download the PNG or the JPEG and then put it in any kind of advertising that you want. So then on the free versions, again, like I said, you can start tracking the statistics and stuff like that. And I think saw Trevor had one at his dream at the Street of Dreams called Flow Code. That's the one we use, and it's kind of a circle. It's a little bit different than the square, and it's cool. Again, you can see everything and track it. You can put your logo on inside of it. You can change colors, shapes, things like that, and then that's about it. So some of the things that you could use it for would be maybe you're sitting at the closing table and you want them to go ahead and do a Google review. Instead of having them to find your Google page, a business page, and then hit reviews, you can just have them scan the QR code, take them right to the review spot, and then they could just type that in and give you the review at that time. You can put it on a magnet. So Mark Brace had talked about, why aren't you sending magnets out when you're doing like a neighborhood mailing saying you're the neighborhood expert? Well, you can have a QR code again on your magnet that takes you right to your Google business page, or maybe a landing page that can convert them to HomeBot, or maybe to your website if you're trying to convert them traffic that way. We met with the Bjork Group. He was going to start using it for his neighborhood, the events, the food trucks and things like that. So it's really, you can go to any website you want. You can also send it to where they're going to be bringing that up to you, that digital card.
Maggie's gonna be talking about that next.
Yep. And then you could also have it where they can scan it, like on the flow code, you can scan it and it'll actually pop up with your number into their text message. So there's endless. We have about 25, 30 different uses that you can use.
And I don't know, is this on? Can you hear me? All right, so they gave me this assignment, 3 weeks ago. I know all about QR codes now, so we are gonna have a class. And I'm getting ideas in front of my marketer that I use. And we're gonna have examples of t-shirts and buttons and stickers for car visors and Klingons for your car. And we're gonna talk about the difference between static QR codes and what was the
Dynamic.
dynamic, thank you, dynamic QR codes and how you can change that. And we're going to talk about your virtual business card. So be sure to come to that class, bring your computer. We are here to serve you. We want you guys to just have that, that little bit degree of separation from your competition that sets you apart. Remember, you're the knowledge broker, you're the forever agent, and we're here to help you get there.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. So, Mag, you want to come up? We're going to talk about digital business cards here in a second. But QR codes, we're seeing it used in open houses. And the question is, we tried, many people in this room tried, especially if you're with our organization, 10 years ago to use QR codes, right? You saw them on name writers, on signs, and other things. But the fundamental thing that's changed about QR codes is it's much simpler today. You used to have to go get an app and then download it, and people weren't comfortable with it. Well, everybody's became comfortable with this if you went out to eat, right? Because you scan a QR code all the time now to get a menu over the last year because of COVID. So just like we talk about how do we make things easy, simple, and stress-free for our clients, that's where they see value. The same thing is applied to QR codes. And again, I believe that I said this 11 years ago too, but I believe much more today than I did then. I might have believed more back then, actually. I believe that QR codes are something that you need to be using. I keep saying we're in the relationship building business, but social media and technology right now are more important than they've ever been to help us build our database, stay connected to people, to build stronger relationships than we ever have before. Digital business cards. So are you going to walk them through the process to take their phone out and text in? You want me to start out with that and then you go?
Sure. I mean, your code still works, right?
Yes.
Text Vince to
So-
88500.
So if everyone can pull out their cell phone, I'll do this and I'm going to turn it over to you and I'm going to shut up. Sorry. And if you've been in our mastermind group, you've probably already done this. Up where it says text to somebody, where it says to, put in 88500. So text to 88500. And then down where you would say hi or whatever your message is, put in VLEISEY. It's not cap sensitive. So 2 at the top is 88500. And then under the message where you write, hi, how are you doing? You'll put in VLEISEY and then hit send. How do you spell my name? Allison, how do you spell our name? VLEISEY. Have you guys done that? And then you hit send, and then a link comes across. And then click on that link. And so it's a digital business card. Is everyone seeing that? Now, in that case, you would have their phone number at that point in time.
So at that point in time, you have their phone number. So then there's a couple other things that you can do. And if you can see this screen, actually, this one looks nice and it's branded BHHS, but Gina, will you go to the other tab for me? You can see this a little bit better. See where it says? Careful. That is like twice.
I told her, I said, don't start drinking tequila till after sales meeting. I said, HR is going to be in the room today.
Don't check the Celica. No. Okay. So if you click, but you click connect, that pops up a window for whoever just texted you, for them to fill out their information, and then that downloads to your phone. That also downloads your information to their phone and to their contacts. So now you're not necessarily exchanging paper business cards. You're basically adding them to your contact quick and easy, and they're adding you to their contacts very simple and easy. So you text this code. In Vince's case, it was V Lisi. I think mine's very easy. It's just Maggie because nobody spells it that way. And up pops this digital business card. Okay. So then a couple of things on this card. So if you saw the PowerPoint presentation that had the Florida Realty, so it can be branded across the top with just obviously BHHS. But if you're a team, you can brand this across the top with your team, and then we'll keep you in compliance and put the BHHS logo next to it too. So you can brand it as your team. You guys can customize the color scheme and look and feel for each one of these. And then you can also customize the buttons down there at the bottom.
These bottom ones, yeah.
So the call, text, email, about me website, that stuff all kind of stays the same. That's just your information. That's your digital business card. But down across the bottom, you can lead them to your, to your website, to your HomeBot page, to your team website, to a property search, however you want to drive that consumer back to either your site, or maybe it's to HomeBot to get that wealth report, whatever it is you want to do. You can customize those. Obviously, you can have your social media links across the bottom, so you can really kind of make it your own. Gina, you can flip to the next tab too, if you don't mind. Here's probably just a little bit more of a basic one. Same thing, send, save, connect. Those are pretty much standard. Then you've got the call, about me, website info, and then those custom buttons across the bottom. So again, you can customize this, look and feel. Obviously, we'll have a BHHS ambassador branded version, but if you are on a team, there is options for team branding as part of this as well.
Now we'll get to that in 1 second. We will. The question is how much is it, and we are going to get to it in a second. It depends on how many people get to sign up. But there was a QR code when I was on that demo. They also said you can just have the QR code on your phone. People can scan that, and they can get that through the QR code also.
So what we've seen, or what I've seen people do, is maybe a thicker business card that they just carry, whether it's like the high gloss or a laminated one, that you can then scan that QR code and it brings them to that same type of site. So basically you get a text code and you get a URL, so you can do the QR code to your card as well. Kind of however you
But in
want to
this
get that
case,
out there.
he had it on the phone, that you could just take your phone out with the QR code here and then scan it right up and just say, hey, scan my QR code, and it'll digitally download that. And then automatically, when they get on their phone, they can add that to their contacts very easily.
Yep.
Who's,
It's like 1 or 2 clicks.
Who's intrigued by this, first of all? And this is something, but here's the problem. When you hand out a business card, one, they probably don't keep it, right? And two is you don't ever get their contact information. There's no way to try to get their contact information. You're not getting anything back from them. So you're seeing lots of industries already go to this. So I think this is something that people are going to probably do, whether you decide, okay, let's go do a business card that's kind of more like a credit card thickness, right, with a QR code on it, or do something like this that has both the QR code and the digital app. I think you're going to see people go here. So you can run through the cost now, because I think you've got this down better than I do.
Well, so many people raise their, it's, okay, so if we have 100 people that are interested, it's $8 a month. If we have 250 people that are interested, it's $7 a month, and then it just goes down from there.
And we're hoping to
So-
be able to add the Lincoln agents in, the home services agents in Lincoln to our thing, which we think at that point in time should be fairly easy to get to 250 people.
I think it's pretty attainable. I mean, just from hearing the feedback from agents that have attended masterminds and people in this group, I think 250 is pretty easy. So this is something that I think we think we'll be able to start like rolling this out and have people signing up over the next couple of weeks. So it's why we wanted to talk about it today, because it's something we're talking about now. Before the next sales meeting, we'll have it available.
So let's send out something in an email just specifically about this, and then have people respond back, if you could, to Maggie, so we can get a level of interest. But I guess show of hands, knowing it's going to be $7 to $8 a month, who has a level of interest in this for us to continue to move forward? And overwhelmingly, probably 70-80% of our mastermind groups, it says keep moving forward on something like this. So it makes sense to me. All right, thank you very much. Now I'm going to let you, yes.
Do you want to do this one?
Yes, please.
All right, so on your chair, and then we'll put this in, like, I'll say all the places, but we'll post it to the internal Facebook page. We'll post it on the AMB tool, the AMB tools, agent tools. intranet, all those things so that you guys have this as a resource. But this is really for you. So the front sheet of this are services that you can use to market a property. Okay, so it's everything that we offer, whether it's a seller's warranty, AdWords, photos, Matterport, social media advertising, mailings, house measurement services, the guy that installs the signs, and everything is like how much it costs you and who to contact on this front sheet. The back side of this is going to be everything that you get with BHHS Ambassador and the franchise. So it's going to show things like HomeBot with the discounted rate that we get with HomeBot, BombBomb, your website, and then other services and tools that we have that you maybe know about, maybe forgot about, maybe need a reminder on, but these are things that we offer typically at a pretty significant discount to our agents. And then at the bottom of this is the franchise tools. So everything from Sage CRM to the social media resource, all of those things that are available to you at bhhsresource.com or the franchise side. So hopefully this is a valuable sheet that you can reference and go, I need to advertise a property just a little bit more. I'm going to sign up for another week on AdWorks, or I'm going to sign up for a social media ad with Boost. So, and if there's questions on a lot of these, marketing can help you out. I can help you out.
And maybe what I'd say probably not even be a bad idea over the next month. We'll have a class and kind of walk through all these things so you guys know where they're at, what their functions are, and in case you haven't used AdWorks or you haven't used some of these things. But the purpose was born out of a conversation, Jason, we had with you, is let's create a sheet here that shows here's what the things that we have available, here's the cost of these things, and here's the contact to simplify this for you guys in that process. So
cool. And I'll email this too. So.
Perfect. Hey, Heather, Brian has a flat tire on 93rd and Dodge. Can you go get him real quick?
You really want me to go get him?
He said he'll do it himself. Don't worry. He's 73. He said don't worry. He says, leave the young people there. I'm sweating. It's all okay.
Because he drives like shit.
Mike Blackman just gave me a dirty look when I was talking about 73. I don't know. Get him out of that portion. Attitude, quote of the day. Attitude is everything, so pick a good one. Wayne Dyer. Attitude is everything, so pick a good one. I love that. I sent to our management team yesterday. Only 2 people responded, so I don't know if anybody else watched it, but it was a Darren Daly. Who in here watches Darren Daly? I love his stuff, and it was really about success is not a mistake, that people that are successful run into walls like everybody else does. But they continue to go through those walls, knock those walls down, and they don't let the wall stop them. Where the vast majority of people, once they get to that second or third wall, ultimately stop, and they're okay with being okay, and greatness is not within them. So I love that video because it really is about, are you going to knock those walls down? Are you going to continue to move forward no matter what obstacles get in your way? So we are going to have a great panel here. So who do we have? We have Pam, Trina, Mike, Ryan, and Tanya. There, all right.
No, wait, that's for next week.
And Shannon, come on. Guys, can you come on up here?
I saw your picture on Jay Brown's.
I was like, I don't think I saw her in San Diego, but maybe she was a secret agent. Maybe she was with the Navy SEALs. What? Okay, come on up, guys. Let's get this fun rolling. Do we got them rolling?
Mic check.
First of all, show of hands, who had been to a summit before? All right. Amateurs. I thought Trina had been before, but I'm like, whatever. When you drink so much you can't remember, I guess you didn't attend. Ryan, why don't we start with you? You want to give us a couple of your top takeaways and talk about, was there a top class or speaker that you enjoyed the most out of this process?
Yeah, is it okay if I kind of touch on
on whatever makes you
Okay,
happy.
Perfect. So the reason I don't have like a pointed takeaway is I'm still kind of like not in shock, but every day since getting back from Summit, I've been thinking about it in my car, going to bed at night. It really changed my whole perspective about this career path. So first of all,
He'll be a firefighter next week.
So first of all, I'm very thankful to go. I'm a newer agent, haven't even been here 2 years. I got the opportunity to go because I'm on Bjork Group with Mike Bjork, and I felt a little bit out of place, but I hope I didn't like inconvenience everybody by being there. It was a great time.
Embarrassed us, but not inconvenienced us.
Okay, I'll take it.
No.
So very thankful to go, humbled and grateful for it. So I'm just going to kind of touch on a little bit of everything because it's all been synergizing in my mind since I've been thinking about it. It took a little bit from like the captives speech, a little bit from the speakers, some from the breakout sessions, and I'm trying to kind of come up with a general theme of what the theme of my takeaway is. So first of all, the captive speech, Vince talked about a little bit earlier today, but there was a lady who was captured by Somali pirates for like 90 some odd days, her and another guy. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. It's like a heart-wrenching story for multiple reasons, and then the SEAL Team 6 saved the day. Extremely powerful. Like everyone was glued, their eyes were glued to the stage. It was a powerful hour. Her main point was that event in her life changed her life, and we need to embrace change. We've all heard that before. So embracing change in terms of a career in real estate, the mechanics, dynamics, the ways we communicate with clients and with each other, that has changed, I would imagine, from 5-10 years ago, and it will continue to change, probably more rapidly than we realize. So we want to stay on the cutting edge of that, which, like the IQ system, there was the senior vice president of research and development for home services. He really drilled into our minds that this IQ system is a great thing to do. I downloaded the app, or I logged into it, got signed up a few days ago. I think there's just an incredible amount of material in there. So really encourage you all to go deep into that. So change was one facet of my takeaway. Timelessness was the other facet. So the other speakers that I got a lot from was a lady from Wall Street Journal and a guy that did some, I don't know, he was like at Disney or something like that. But they were talking about branding and making your brand genuine to who you are, and then how to communicate that effectively, not just the means and methods of using different mediums of communication, but when you communicate, how to communicate so that you explain to your clients or future clients or other agents who you are and what your brand is. Example, Nike. The last 3 years, I've seen no Nike commercials talking about what goes into their basketball shoes or how great their shorts are. It's been about Colin Kaepernick. So if that pushes you away from Nike or it attracts you, it's kind of going to be divisive. But the people that are attracted to that, they're like totally sold out. So similarly, my brand needs to be genuine enough where not everyone's going to like me, but the people that do like me are going to recognize that I'm being genuine, and they're going to be a lifelong client and give me a bunch of referrals with people that I'm comfortable with too, because I've been myself. 1 second. Okay, so that's kind of the points that I learned. The other huge part of me enjoying my experience down there was spending time with people from our office, spending time with other agents. I think that's like a really big part of our business is our intra-agent relationships. And I was blown away how genuine everyone up on this panel is. Other people are. Like I saw the CEO and that senior vice president out on the dance floor. Maggie, my wife Maggie, and I were dancing in front of this band, and we kept on bumping into them. It's like, man, they're just having fun, and it was actually really funny. But so that's what has been going through my mind this last week. I also want to say to all of you that I got really proud to be at Vince's brokerage here from interacting with people there. And I also got really proud to be on Mike's team. So I went to this breakout session and it was about team leaders. I'm not a team leader, I'm a team member. I just wanted to go. So many times during that breakout session or during the speeches, other agents, other team leaders, other brokers would be intensely taking notes about what was being said, or they'd raise their hand and ask for the speaker to elaborate on something, on things that Vince is already doing here, that Mike's already doing on my team. Like, it was cool. It was an experience, and it really encouraged me. So I wish there would have been like more people from our brokerage there, because there's a lot of good people out there, and I get it. Like you get in your own system and you cruise and you're successful and stuff, but like this was cool. So
Code red, machine gun in the house.
yeah. So I'd really challenge more people to show up and represent our brokerage there, because it's worth it, and we have a good brokerage to represent.
Thank you. And I think the networking, and we see that at convention. What do we have signed up for convention? About 9,500 people, I think it's like 97 people. So, and that's one of the things, my favorite things about convention is not even all the education classes, but it's the networking, getting to get together, because clearly got to know Ryan much better than before. And I would say that's probably the case outside of Mike for all the people here. So it was very cool. So and we hear that from Explosion all the time, is the networking of connecting with people. And Megan Wise, a person who's been here many times for Explosion, was texting me this morning, and I sent her out 4 people's names of questions she had on teams and stuff like that. So those connections are invaluable to help you continue to grow in your business moving forward. So appreciate it and loved having you there. Mike?
First, I just want to apologize that you guys got to go and get to know Ryan a little bit better. So, no, there are several good takeaways. There were moments here that I felt that some of the other conferences were a little bit better. I felt Explosion was really deep too. But there still were several good takeaways, not so much in learning experiences, but more just motivational experiences here. Like that first day, and I forget his name too.
The British guy?
Yeah, the British guy. You know, a couple good points he had is, you know, write down your internal successes and your external successes over and over again and look for a pattern. And you're gonna find out what's gonna make you successful. I also liked his 5 stages of learning. I can't get real into detail, but it's like unconsciously incompetent, consciously incompetent, learning, consciously competent, and then unconsciously competent. So as you do it over and over, you start out not knowing what you don't know, then you consciously are trying to learn and you're still incompetent. And then as you learn and you do the same practices over and over again, then you're just unconsciously competent, if that makes sense. Also, that lady,
How many
Buchanan-
people here are unconsciously incompetent? Real estate's the right field for you.
most powerful speaker was that Jessica Buchanan. She was the one that was taken hostage by the Somali pirates. That was such a touching story. Like everyone in the room had tears in their eyes. But one thing that really stuck out to me is when she was at her lowest, she thought not about what was going to happen to her, but she planned her future. She planned her future with children. She planned her future. She made a vision to help support her. And I think that that could go along with anything in this business. If you see yourself as successful and you see yourself going somewhere, stick to that vision. Don't get off track. And then there's several AdWorks things. I don't know if you want to get
Go
into
ahead.
that yet.
Yeah.
The AdWorks one was really good too. There's a lot coming out of there. By 2023, Google will no longer accept third-party cookies. And that's really important for the way that we market, because it won't let you remarket people. So there are changes coming to that as well. And the way that that works is fascinating. You go onto a site, you drop a cookie, and within milliseconds, it's bidding on who's going to show up. And AdWorks does that well. Retargeting, like your Sphere campaign is great. That works really well because you want to get in front of your people more consistently. I think 77 people who sell their house take the first person they call is the person that lists, or usually the only person they call. Also, statistics about ads with faces on it are 90% more likely to get noticed.
Even your face?
Yeah. I'll put another face in there with me too, though.
Ryan, loan is for those marketing pieces.
And then they are changing too. So another thing AdWorks is doing is they found that these motion still ads are getting way more attention. So I think coming up in January, that's going to be available to everyone here too. You want to put at least 300 people in your sphere. That's kind of seems to be the magic number. They talked a lot about just referral. So using the AdWorks, not so much to always get new clients, but to keep the clients that you have in front of you. That's what you'd call a layup, right? That's your referral. That's someone you've helped. They market you on their own. And he kind of called, and we say that a lot of people are missing the layups because they're not keeping in touch with their present clients or past clients. Even me, like with doing a lot of Zillow, things like that, that's helpful, but that's like a 3-point shot. And you're more likely to make a layup than a 3-point shot. So it's a good way to keep in touch with all of your clients, and it's a good product. But I think that's about all I have right now.
Thank you. Pam. Now, Pam, you learned don't go shopping with Mark and Trina Shahan, right?
And Nico Marasco.
And Nico Marasco,
for
yeah.
sure.
I heard he's a really bad influence.
Yeah, I don't know who's
Have you ever
worse,
gone
Trina?
shopping with one of the best salespeople at Berkshire Hathaway?
It's bad.
Yeah, I spent way too much
Although I was
Mark bought a watch he didn't need. Trina bought a second purse. She didn't need the first one. But Gucci and her, they're just like this now. Pam, shoot away.
I would agree 100% with Ryan that the biggest thing I took away from Summit was about change. If you would have told me a year and a half ago that I'd be sitting here at Berkshire, I would have said you were full of, you know what?
Dreams can come true, right, Pam?
Sometimes it's a nightmare, but yes. Anyway, but yeah, Jessica was everybody was coming back from break. She came and started talking, and you couldn't hear a pin drop in that place. It was unbelievable to listen to her. So the biggest thing I took away, was the change. So I am definitely working on that. I'm in another one of Fred's classes today. And then I'm going with Shelley tomorrow to work on my website. Apparently when I moved over here to Berkshire, I didn't really know I had all these tools. So I'm setting that up. And it really hit home. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's just moved her from Idaho, and she said, I got on your website page, and I have to tell you, if you weren't referred to me, I would not use you because you have nothing on your page except your picture and your phone number. So I have lots to work on.
Anything else you want to talk about right now?
Well, if you're not changing, you're just not living up to your fullest potential. And I think that small changes over the course of time can create massive results.
Perfect. Keep us rolling.
Cool. Okay, so I'm going to talk. They all talked a little bit about Richard Janes. So who he is? He's an Emmy Award-winning entertainment entrepreneur, film producer, author. He's the founder of the Hollywood digital agency Fanology. So everything they create basically inspires, engages, or entertains. And so their logo is, "We bring your story to life through video and images that connect at the heart and linger in the mind." And so I liked this guy the most of all because when I first got in real estate, I think my biggest thing was I was told I'm supposed to pay attention to numbers. I'm supposed to do all these things by the book and track everything that you're doing and all this stuff. Well, I'm not very good at that stuff. That's not my forte. My thing is actually connecting with people, creating relationships, and connecting with the heart and soul versus anything else. And so this guy challenges you to say, who are you? Why are you in this world? What is your personal brand? So he challenged you to think about what are the 3 things that define you. He says heart before head. We have to lead and go where our heart and soul is. What are the memories that you have when your heart was completely full? And he says, when you do that, you take those memories and you go through those memories and figure out what about it really made you happy. So look for the patterns in your life of where that happened in your life and what made you happy. And when you're looking at your business, look at what made you happy. So he said there are internal and external successes. Internal is where you want to focus. He compared people to a bowl. Tons of them are made, like a China bowl. There's like tons and tons of them made, but one fell off the shelf and someone picked up all the pieces, put it all together, and really put it together with this gold paint and whatnot, and it made it unique. And that uniqueness is what made that bowl so incredibly valuable, and then it was worth a lot of money. So he says, don't hide your cracks. The cracks are the gold in your life. Let's see. He said, write down what you love, write down the modality of your success, and then what is your shadow? And I thought this was interesting because I think we all hide, our weaknesses, and we're afraid to show them when we're talking to new people or new clients. And he said, you show those weaknesses, and then you will be a magnet and create your own uniqueness through that. So I thought that was my favorite.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
Tanya, and so one of the things is, just like at convention, we all get together, right, for a cocktail night and appetizers, stuff like that. We go to a dinner because it's always a small group at Summit, and we invite the agents. There's one exception. If you're a Raiders fan, we do not invite you to dinner. So Tanya's husband sat at the bar because he was a Raiders fan, and we're just like, that was really going to screw our night up. We did invite him, but the Raiders, he was more intense on the TV at the bar than he was, I think, in eating dinner with us. But it was great. It was great getting to know everybody there. Shoot away.
This is so true. So probably one of my first takeaways is, I think it's amazing how we all have different points from the same breakout or the same person. I loved the fact that my husband was with me because he's not a realtor, and, they probably hear more than they want to at home, but even though he wouldn't sit with us for dinner, which he would have just been a pain in the ass if he did, because he was so intent on the game.
He'd been screaming for the
He
Raiders the
was.
whole
He made a
time.
lot of friends at the bar, though. It's all good. It was really good for him to be able to experience that on a different level than just what he hears from me or people that he's known that, are at my office. Because a lot of times when, I feel like you sacrifice the very thing that you're doing this business for, that it was really valuable to me to have him be celebrated and be there also. So that was a really big takeaway for me, is take your spouse with you. It just gets them another view inside of what you do. And as far as like different spins on what people would say is, one thing that really hit home for me is how they're finding this more and more in all demographics, that it's so valuable not to rely on the result with your client, but really focusing on the experience. Because if you do an audit and think about, who are the people that I work with or that I've worked with in the past that just made me happy? There might have been elements about the transaction that were bumpy along the road, but there was something about it that makes you happy. Is really take the time to sit down and think about what were the details about that transaction, because ultimately you know, if you really dissect that, you can create super fans from that. And it's the people that saw your flaws or something went wrong, but you know, you had a connection with them, because it's not ultimately doing business with a breathing body that can buy a house or an investment property. It's ultimately doing business with people that, you know, they're part of your tribe, because they're going to refer business to you more than anybody else. It's not focusing on the people that you could probably live your whole life and never see again, because it's just a waste of your time. One of the other breakouts that I went to that was super helpful, a lot of it just confused the heck out of me because it talked about different elements about technology, is really doing an audit of you online, whether it's your Google business account, realtor.com, Zillow. You know, if you used to be with a different brokerage, you're probably saying online somewhere you're still with that brokerage. It's really, it might not all be perfect, but make sure all of the information is right, because somebody might somehow land wherever you are online, and if it doesn't have the correct information, it's just going to be confusing and they'll move on. So that was kind of a good baby step that, you know, I feel like I've done that, but I know at one point after I had come here, I did figure out that not everything was correct that was online. So doing that, but the big thing is, you know, with the fanology, is figuring out what is it that makes you happy, and take the time to figure that out and do business with more people like that.
Yeah, I would agree with what Mike says. Is Summit, for the most part, doesn't have the content Explosion does. It doesn't have the content that Convention has. It typically will have two really good speakers that are inspire and motivate you to do things, but it's really more of a celebration because it's just the award winners that are invited to that, right? And then the extension of the award winners is team members can go with them also. And I think that's a cool part of it, is it's coming together to celebrate having a great year. Now, the funny thing is, Trina told me at the end of this, she says, do we have to bring spouses? So, see,
I think my
very different
husband's a lot of
perspectives here.
fun. I don't know.
But one of the things I think every one of you brought up the branding guy. What was his name again, Trina? I apologize. The branding gentleman, the British guy, Richard. And the thing that he said that I think is really important for us to understand is, one is, you've heard them all say, be the unique you, right? It's be real, be who you are, and that's okay. But the bigger point I took away that I've not heard here yet is he used the example of Miracle Whip and mayonnaise. Who in the room likes Miracle Whip? Okay. Who in the room hates Miracle Whip? So they did a campaign, right? I don't remember exactly what it's. Help me if anyone can remember, but they did a campaign about Miracle Whip. Love us or hate us. Love us or hate us. And they were social media to death, challenged everybody, and all of this negative, 70% of the content coming back was people like, I hate Miracle Whip. And so logic would tell us, oh my God, if 70% of the news we're getting, 70% of the comments we're getting is negative, 70% of the people hate us, you would think that would be bad for your brand. You think that would be bad for your sales. But their sales, what? Quadrupled? Their sales quadrupled because the people that loved them doubled and tripled down on them. And so that's the point I want you to remember. Be who you are. It's okay to show your flaws. Be the unique individual that God made you to be, because at the end of the day, you've only got to attract a percentage of all the people. And so if you're true to yourself, right, and you have a strong brand, and you're giving value to them, and they're connected and building relationships with you, you don't need everybody. You only need this segment of that. And I thought that was a great example of, here someone is, all of this negative news is coming out, yet sales are soaring. Because the people that like you and connect to you and build a relationship with you and brand yourself, and he poked fun at me and my shirts. He says, there's a lad here that's got crazy shirts on, Vince, will you stand up? And that was like 30 seconds after Trina's like, where the hell are you at?
So that was a horrible attempt at a British accent, by the way.
Sorry. You do it. But the point is, you don't have to have everybody like you and love you. And so that's okay. be who you are, show value, build and nurture relationships, and continue to grow that. So let's run back this way as we wrap this thing up. What's the most important takeaway that you'd like to share with everybody? What's one thing, if you're just leaving with one thought as you summarize everything, that would be your biggest takeaway from Summit, just kind of as your parting thought on that?
I would say my biggest takeaway from it was not focusing on the end result, but focusing on the experience for your client.
Thank you.
Well, I have to say ditto on that one, but I think the two things is being unique, being yourself. Don't be scared to be unique, because that's what makes you you. And I think that's what connects you to other people. And then branding, making sure they talked a lot about a prestigious branding. So even though you're not the king of the jungle, make sure that you are keeping your branding up. So, and all the initials behind your name and the things you can do to make you look really smart is going to be important in the next few years. So.
And the importance of branding was consistent, right? A consistency, again, across everything, from your marketing pieces to your social media to everything you do. You have to be, your branding has to become recognizable to you.
That was also when they said to do an audit of all of your, everything that you have to make
Right.
sure your branding is consistent.
Absolutely.
My biggest takeaway is if you're invited to go to something like this, why wouldn't you go to it? I was shocked that there weren't more people. We have so many resources here. Our managers are awesome. These two are really good because I see they're in my hall. We have so much stuff here. It's like, to me, it's overwhelming, all the technology and knowledge that we have. And I feel like a lot of it, I know myself, I'm not using it. And I'm really starting to dig in and start to use what we have.
And Hotel Dell, probably in my opinion, was the best Summit venue they've had. It was spectacular.
I would say keep a positive vision was probably my biggest takeaway. You know, be yourself, just like everyone else is saying, and that goes the same way with the branding. Just don't get negative. Always see yourself in a positive way. Look at the future in a positive way. Try to plan it. You know, can't plan it perfect, but always just plan it with a positive attitude.
I wholeheartedly agree with what Pam said about show up. It's worth it, because everything that has been set up here today, there's only so much we can communicate. We're not I'm not a professional speaker. The professional speakers, at these events, like, wax eloquent. It's awesome. Something about there's good speakers. They know how to not just get you to the point where you can take a couple good notes, but really get absorbed in what they're trying to communicate.
The
to you.
delivery sticks with you.
Yeah. See, she might be a speaker. I'm not. So. So yes, do whatever it takes to go to these things.
Guys, any questions? So convention, is it too late to sign up for convention? It's too late to sign up at the bulk rate?
Too late at the bulk rate, but we tend to have a few people that can't go between now and then, so I always like
So
to
get a hold of
wait list.
get a hold of Carrie if you want to get on a wait list.
Yeah.
And should they have we been advising them to get a room, or what's the status of rooms?
They told us we'll get rooms in October.
Okay. All right, because that was one of the problems at this event is I heard some people didn't go because rooms got sold out on this thing, which kind of creates a little problem. So let's give them a big hand, guys. Thank you very much. So now some important stuff. September 30th, is that next week? Yeah. September 30th, we still need some help. We still need some help. We have the Grill Off, which is my favorite event of the year, out in the parking lot. Spouses, kids are invited. I don't see Christy, but I don't know if we're doing bounce houses or any of that type. Face paint, bounce house. So our goal is to get up to 15 grill masters. I think we're sitting at 8 right now. I guess I was volunteered. I didn't realize this, but I will be doing ribs. So please, we'll give you $150 for your meat or whatever you need to get the meat. But this is a great thing. I'm telling you, the food on this thing is always spectacular. So please, if you or if you've got a team, we're going to probably call a lot of the teams here today, begging the larger teams to get us someone on their team to come out to this thing. But we need more grillers. We'll figure out how we get enough grills here. But that's September 30th, a Thursday night from 5 to 7:30. Is that correct? So please, Christy or Gina or I, grab one of us if you would be a grill master. And then the last Supercar Saturday is going to be the second Saturday in October, which will be 9 to 11, October 9th. Continue to have had great attendance for that throughout the year. So and use that as a vehicle again to invite people. Mr. Canny, are you around to give the Good Guy Award away? I mean, I'm starting to question the name of this saying the good guy when guys like Candy's getting it. It worries me, but we had to give it to somebody. I got to be nice to him. He did get all you people to spend $6,600 on parking spaces for the Sunshine Kids.
This agent.
It's on. It's on back there, guys.
This agent's been around for about. No.
Is the light green?
No. This agent.
Okay.
This agent's been around for about 20 years and does a lot of things for the veterans and has a head of hair like myself and is pretty shy around the office. But once you give him a microphone, he's a rock star. So Jason Bernstill.
Now, you said we're going to shave his head right now?
That was part of the deal.
Thank you.
Real quick, Rick in his humility doesn't talk about all the stuff he does, but one of the causes I'm working with is Guitars for Vets right now, and Rick made a very generous donation, and the amount he donated is going to put dozens of vets through the program. So props to this guy. I'll send it right back to him.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Is there anything else that you want me to go over? Yes. Yes. Jay, get up here, Jay. One last thing, and then we're getting out of here. I've got to tell you, I've been a little surprised. I thought sales were going to pick up in September. We've had the number of listings pick up, but we've not seen a pickup in sales yet at this point in time. And we're actually trending a little behind, just so those of you that are a little slow, because we were saying we thought September, actually we would get more buyers back in there, more sellers. Well, we got more sellers, but we've not seen more buyers yet. Good properties that are conditioned right and priced right are still selling, but we're trending right now to sell 150 or so less houses this month than we did the previous couple months. And I was expecting the exact opposite of that. So it'll be interesting to see. We'll keep you abreast to how the market's taking care of it. But get out there, keep working, reaching out to people. Talked to a couple agents yesterday, and they said where their business is really coming from is they're just reaching out to people in the past. They didn't get a house and saying, listen, there's an opportunity to get a house now. So figure out where the opportunities are and seize them.
Again, you guys have been seeing the flyers and the emails and everything. We have our real estate breakthrough class, six-week class, starts on October 7th, goes 9 to 11 every Thursday. When you register, if there's a couple days you can't make it, that's okay. Just register so we kind of know how to set up the room. We have 5 out of the 6 speakers we've never had speak before. So we have some new top producer agents that are going to be here. So it's worthwhile to come here, get some momentum during the fall, and that will take you through the winter. Because right now in October, as it's coming up, this is when you should be planning for the new year, making more calls, connecting with people, building those relationships. And this class will help you do that by listening to these other top producers. So,
and the key is we've strategically done this in October, November, because we know history tells us as we head into the winter months, as we head into the holiday seasons, people start letting their foot off the gas. And that's the biggest mistake, because the activities you do today, right, you've heard me say this 100 times, does not determine the business you have today. The activities you do today determines the business you're having in the pipeline 30, 60, 90 days from now. So if you want to start off next year, great. It's really important through those holiday seasons, you use that as an opportunity to get face-to-face, to build relationships, and to keep doing those activities that's going to help build that business for you. So Jay's got a lot. It sounds like we got a lot of speakers. We need a lot of guinea pigs. We're not sure if they're going to be good speakers or bad speakers, but please show up, be polite to them, and we'd love to have them. So we've got how many people signed up right now?
about 50. So 50. We normally, the
we'd
class
like to have
usually,
100 people in this room.
yeah, usually we have 100, 125. So starts in a few weeks. So yeah, just get registered.
And again, those of you that are team leads, get your team members out here. There will be a lot of great content with the speakers that we have to share. There will be takeaways without question that you'll be able to implement in your business to help grow it to the next level. So Jay, thank you for coordinating that for us. Guys, let's have a great day. Let's go.